The book attempts to portray a canvas of waste in all forms of, in all its forms. So human footprint consumes something and always emits something, which is what you call the consumption aftermath.
Mm-hmm.
So that consumption aftermath can be municipal waste, which is or sewage. It can be wet waste. It can be industrial waste in terms of effluence. It can be construction waste. It can be electronic waste. So the book portrays waste in a complete sort of a canvas. What it also attempts to do, therefore, is why India perpetually struggles with its waste problem. What are the reasons that makes India that what are the reasons that pushes India to a corner literally? Because if I share some statistics, it's a very scary picture for India. When it comes to sort of food waste or when it comes to agri waste, there are two aspects to it. Uh, One is the aspect of what we produce in agriculture and what we are able to sort of deliver it to the market. There is a leakage within the value chain, and that goes into waste. Uh, in some categories of agriculture produce, specifically fruits and vegetables, the wastage can be as high as 30%. So if let's say we grow 100 kgs of tomatoes, we are able to only sell 70 kgs of tomatoes, primarily because of the fact that 30 kgs we are unable to either store it in right temperature, carry it in time. Perishability does not is not in sync with the warehousing and logistics infrastructure. So this is one type of waste that agriculture produces, and there are a whole range of issues around agricultural policy
Mm-hmm.
that needs to address this issue, which is what in the domains of near farm infrastructure, control temperature warehousing, and warehousing needs to be viewed in completely different light. Agriculture waste from a production and a consumption cycle. Now, 50 years back, the urbanization footprint was very small. The crop production per se was very small. So some of the practices that we used to do earlier, like let's say stubble burning. Okay. Now the footprint, human footprint was itself so small that stubble burning never sort of attracted us from a critical inquiry that this is bad. Now today you are talking about we are self-sufficient in our agriculture production in most of the crops. We are talking about scales which rival many countries. We are top producers in many things. So you can imagine how we have grown the scale of this. Okay. So what has happened is on one hand, we have increased the our ability to sort of produce to become self-sufficient, but we have not kept pace to handle this production increase. Okay, so to that extent, that critical inquiry has not happened in the last 50-60 years. We are talking about renewables now, and solar panels are sort of coming up. India is taken a march ahead to sort of deploy solar panels, but the lead consumption, because of the batteries that are installed along with the solar panels, is increased. Now, when they run their life cycle value, what do you do with that? And the lead extraction around it and lead seeping into the environment and exposing human and all other life forms becomes dangerous. Brands or companies that are responsible for selling products made out of this, that gives this kind of waste, or they are responsible, they should be responsible to collect that product at the end of its life cycle
Mm-hmm.
and dispose it or treat it in safe conditions as per specified guidelines. Okay. Now, in this EPR, retail plays an important role as an extended arm
Okay.
for all these brands. So if I'm talking about e-waste, a consumer brand needs to closely work with the retailer that, hey, you've sold it to a consumer, a mobile phone. After 5 years or 4 years or whenever the mobile runs its course, the consumer will come and you are supposed to take it back, give it to me, and then consumer can buy something else. But then this cycle becomes formal, this cycle becomes binding, and the brand takes the mobile phone back, either through third party or through his own facility. He safely disposes. The same argument can be extended to FMCG brands also, that EPR needs to be inculcated. It needs to be adopted by FMCG majors. They need to collect the plastic wrappers or the wrappers in which they sell their produce. And then that should be sort of collected and safely disposed. The same argument you can also extend to lead or batteries manufacturers who are sort of putting it in solar panels, who are putting it in cars, everywhere. So this concept of EPR needs to be understood by retailers and brands across categories. And retail needs to play an important role for these brands as extended arm. Because if only when you create this sort of a pressure point, the brands then sort of seek solutions, and they will seek formal solutions. For stubble management, I would side more with the native solutions of not to burn with the crop, and you can sort of how you can within the farm practices, you can convert the crop wastage into manure for the next cycle, and some sort of crop rotation techniques, some sort of techniques that farmer can deploy without any additional sort of investment is needed, because we have to keep in mind that stubble burning is a North India problem, not a South India problem. In many farms, the crop harvest, post harvest, is just left on the in the ground, and it's not burned at all. Okay, and then it gets converted into a manure for the next cycle. So you can solve it by doing these native sort of solutions, these practical solutions. So that's one way. The second is where it is not possible to do it, you need to sort of create linkages. You need to do projects like Bio and Dave in sort of a cooperative manner as a solution for agri waste. If I take a reality check today, the fact that you have allowed farmers to work directly with brands, the reality of the matter is that already only 30% of the produce is getting routed through APMC. 70% is sold outside of the scope of APMC. Okay, but yet, let's say, the near farm infra is not being developed, and all the private retailers or exporters who work directly with the farmers still rely on middlemen, still rely on distributors or wholesalers to get their produce. So they have not moved closer to the farmer.